Hey, good evening, all, and welcome to my Soul Connections number 4 podcast. And honey, it's going to be deep today. I don't know. I think I might go over an hour for real, because this stuff is serious. And I have a lot of questions, and maybe some people can help me as well in regards to the topic today, honey. Because today, yes, I like how that came out. So today, podcast. Hey, Britt. Hey. Okay. You know I'm doing it from 2 phones. I'm Kevin Gates out here. You know I got my hickey jigger going. Hold on. I got my phone going and my I got my phone going and I got my I got my phone going and I got my computer going. You already know how it is. Okay, let me see how this goes. Okay, so today's topic. Wait a minute. First of all, before we even go in here, y'all like my income tax wig? No, let me stop playing. Ain't no income tax wig. This is the one I found in the closet. You know, I had to boil it, put some conditioner in it. to the wig. But so an interesting subject today is going to be about co-parenting, and I need your thoughts, your opinions, and definitely your feedback. So if y'all are watching me on here, hey, and please feel free to comment. I got my section up here where I'm able to read and comment on some. And let me go ahead and tell you my situation. Okay, I hate to say it, but yes, I am a statistic. Okay, I am a black female. Melanated being. I'm a melanated being, and I have 2 BDs. There's a difference between father and dad, and I'll get to that later. In fact, let me write that down. Father and dad, so I don't forget for y'all. Okay? So I'm basically, I want to say baby's mom, but because I do more than just the typical subject of baby's mom, I am a child's mother. Okay, and there's definitely a difference between the 2. Okay, and I'm having some co-parenting issues, and I want to know if anybody else has experiencing these issues or experienced these issues, and how we can try to navigate through them. I'm also going to drop some jewels on how to be a better co-parent on both sides, on the baby mom and baby's dad. Now, disclaimer, when I say BM, I mean baby's mom. When I say BD, I mean baby's dad. Okay? And here in Pittsburgh, I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I don't know where any of y'all are from. I would imagine Pittsburgh, because I got a lot of people from Facebook. It don't even matter, but y'all catch my drift. And so I want to break it down to you, basically some pointers that I had to look up after my conversation today. Okay. Oh, I'm sweating because I'm hot. This is a touchy subject. No, I'm gonna do that again. It is a touchy subject. Okay, and there's some stuff that needs to be addressed. All right. So first thing, I guess I want to go to the understanding of co-parenting, right? So when you co-parent with a significant other or an ex-significant other, and in this case, we're using exes because co-parenting, you're no longer in a relationship, but you share a mutual interest, which is the best benefit for your child. Okay, in their well-being. Okay, now co-parenting will include major decisions within the child's life, such as education, medical, religious, and other important interest matters, like if your child is in any type of sports or any type of extracurricular activities, like, violin, piano, music, dancing, anything of that nature. Okay. And it also depends on financial stability as well. You can be, not saying because you have less money than the other parent that you are not a great co-parent. Does that make sense? Because there's other factors that need to go into that. And my nose is not running for the record. My nose ain't running. I'm sweating. Okay. Cause like I said, this is a hot topic. Now I have mutual friends. Some are females, which are labeled as BMs, and some are males, which are labeled as BDs, who are single, well, not necessarily single, but they are not in a relationship with their child's parent or other parent, okay? So I actually called them up for some advice. And I said, hey, I'm doing a podcast, number 4. And I wanted to basically know what's your thoughts about co-parenting? How is your co-parenting affecting you guys? Are you guys doing it in a healthy way? Are you doing it in a toxic way? Tell me, how's that working for you? And some of the opinions and the thoughts and the things that I got, it was mind-blowing. And especially what I'm going through now. As stated, yes, I am a statistic. I am a melanated being, and I have 2 babies' dads. One of them I was with, both of them I was with for like 10 plus years. And my first one, I had 2 children by, which are my oldest 2, Elijah and Soulll. And the second baby's dad, oh, Lord Jesus, Lord, I only have 1 by, and that's Nala. So I have a total of 3 kids, 2 babies, dad, and me. Okay. And let's see. Okay. I keep having to press this button on the computer. I'm sorry if I keep putting my finger in your face. I apologize. So anyway, to make a long story short, I took some tips and I listened actively to each part of the story so I can get a female's perspective and I can also get a male's perspective too. Because sometimes within co-parenting, I'm gonna give it to y'all fellas. No shade. I'm gonna speak up when it's time to speak up. Okay. Now, fellas too. You know what I mean? Sometimes y'all can be forgotten in a co-parenting situation because it seems like it's always the mother. Okay. And sometimes that's not always the case. Because we do know some of our friends or some of our women, our sisters, we're going to be real, some of our sisters can be, oh, girl, why do you have to do that? What's going on? They could be, quote unquote, a bum baby mom, which would BBM, as that's what we would refer to a bum baby's dad, a BBD. And I ain't talking about poison. Well, wait a minute. If it's toxic, then it just might be poison. Okay. So let me just get started. Again, the co-parenting consists of the education, the religious factors, medical, and other important subjects that are interests that the child may do that involves co-parenting. Okay. Now, what's interesting to me is I actually found the list and I want to relay that to y'all. Basically a list of how can you co-parent in a successful way. I'm going to tell y'all right now, after I get done breaking this stuff down to you, I'm going to tell y'all about my co-parenting situation. I'm going to keep it real. And it may or may not hurt feelings, and I may or may not learn anything today in regards to the co-parenting. However, every day I do get better. Okay. We as a people should be getting better because change is good. All right. Now, to increase chances of a successful co-parenting, you and your ex have to, and again, this is for successful, you have to let the past go. I failed right there. That one ain't even come out right because you know I'm not even going to. Gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hey, cousin Toya's on here. Hey, girl. All right. So you have to let go of the past, because what happened between you and that significant other or your ex, we're just going to say ex, whatever happened between you and your ex should not affect your child. Okay? Second step in co-parenting successfully is focusing on the child. The basics and beyond needs of the child. Is the child getting fed properly? Is the child getting sleep properly? Is the child doing this properly? It's the best interest of the child. So your feelings don't matter. My feelings don't matter. It's the best interest of the child. Okay? Also, having communication. Now, this is a really big key in successful co-parenting, because without communication with any relationship, it's going to fail. It's going to fail. Yeah. Without any communication, it's going to fail. So if you can't properly articulate your feelings and concerns about the child, then it's no longer co-parenting. It's just one parent that's parenting, I guess. Okay. Now, whenever you communicate, you need to be clear and concise. For example, no, be at 736 Maple Street at 8 p.m. on a Sunday. That's clear communication. Okay. Be cooperative. You have to learn how to be cooperative. Dang, I can't speak today. I apologize, y'all. Be cooperative. You have to keep your texting brief. If it's not about the child, and I'm going to say it again, if it's not about the child, then your finger should not even be texting. Kids only. Remember, it's the best interest for the child. And then also communicate directly. There's no need for me to go to Bob to talk to Jim about my child. What's the point of it, right? So talk to me directly about my child, and I shall talk to you directly about your child. Catch my drift? All right. Also, active listening, because a person can communicate to you their thoughts, their feelings, and their concerns about the child. However, are you active listening? And active listening consists of different parts. Okay, active listening take turns when you're speaking. So, in other words, unfortunately, due to the circumstances, due to the repercussions, and I'm keeping it real, due to the repercussions of y'all wanting to have sex, knowing that you can A, either get an STD, B, have a baby, y'all end up having a baby. Now, you have to respect or have a certain level of respect when you do an active listening, because if we're taking turns and you're supposed to be active listening, then there's no way that you should interrupt me while I am voicing my thoughts, my concerns, my opinions when I'm addressing them to you concerning our child. Okay? So don't interrupt me. So that's where the respect comes in. Then before you go to give me your respond, or before I give you my respond into what you said, active listening consists of a summary. Oh, I'm on the phone? Kels, you're on the phone. Oh, so it didn't record. Oh, shoot. I'm up here talking here, but okay. Thanks, Britt. I appreciate that, boo. So you're right. Maybe I can't do the two screens that way. But hell, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get it together. Thank you, boo. I appreciate you. But did you understand what I was saying? Were you still able to hear me, though, Britt? Where did my towel go? Were you still able to hear me? Okay, good. So then I'm just going to go ahead and push this out the way. And then I'm just going to... Okay, good. I'm going to go ahead and push this out the way. Wait a minute, y'all. Let me get 2 minutes real fast because I'm hot. And I keep sweating, wiping my nose, feeling a little bit... So hold on. Give me a second here. Oh, Lord. All right, I'm back. Woo! Okay. Yes. Guess who's back? Yes. I've been gone for a minute now. I'm back with the jump off. No, okay, let me stop. He wasn't ready. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me get back to what I was saying, because these are some very important topics that I too had to sit down myself and actually be like, wait a minute. And am I co-parenting in a proper way? Okay. So I started with active listening, and then we got down to making sure you summarize. So for example, if you're telling me on a Sunday night that you're not able to take our child that weekend, then you should communicate to me directly and say, hey, I'm just using this as an example. Hey, Kelly, unfortunately, this weekend something important came up, such as ABCD. I'm not going to be able to take our daughter this weekend. However, as an alternative, if you watch her this weekend, I can take her for you the following weekend. Okay? And then in return, I will come to you and I will say, wait a minute. What I heard you say was, now notice how I summed that up. What I heard you say was, because people can interpret things differently than how you mean to say it. And it's supposed to be like, oh, hey, Dee Dee. And it's supposed to be like you can't think for somebody else. So if I have a specific thought and I'm trying to relay it to you, and I'm like, oh, well, you understand. You might not understand. So one of the main components to active listening is comprehension. And the way that you can get the comprehension is a summary. Hey, Britt, I'm not able to take our child on Sunday because of blah, blah, blah. And then Brittany, you will tell me, hey, what I heard you say was you're not able to take our child this weekend, but you are going to compensate for not taking her for that weekend by taking her one of my weekends. Is that right? That way, what you relayed of how you comprehend what they just told you concerning your child, you're asking them, hey, is this correct? Do you have a understand? This is what I'm understanding. That way, you had efficient, fair, active listening, and communication all wrapped up in one, if that makes sense. Okay? Another thing is supporting one another. And that's one of the hardest things to do if you couldn't let the past go. I'm assuming. I know it's for me. It's a touchy subject, but allow me to finish. You got to support one another. You know what I mean? If you actually see your BD, baby's dad, or BM, baby's mom, actually handling their business and doing what they're doing, giving them a shout out and letting them know, hey, I just want to let you know I like how you handled that situation at the school, because if they would have called me, I'd have set it off on a different type of level. That's giving you a compliment. That is supporting you. You know, I had your back all the time. I was waiting for that principal to say something, because I would have real quick. You understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of like supporting, even like, hey, you know what? Thanks for coming through, for buying our daughter or our son, or basically our child, those extra pair of pants. I wasn't able to do it. I was $17 short. Thanks for coming through. Supporting them, okay? Or I like the way how you're teaching our child how to read. Or I like the way that you're teaching our child about their history. I like the way that you have a routine that you created with your child to get our child in a routine pattern. You know, being supportive of one another, okay? That's definitely major in a successful co-parenting. Also, planning for the holidays and vacations by giving as much as advance as possible. That goes back down to the active and effective communication. So, for example, I'm going to use this as an example for me. One of the things that me and BD number 2, told you I'm a statistic, ain't nothing wrong with it. Me and BD number 2, he actually, his mother, shout out to you, Mom. Hashtag, I love you. I love his mom. I love his mom. They have a tradition. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. They have a tradition that they do every July, and it's basically Christmas in July. Hey Tiara, hey boo. And what they do is his mom sets a day aside in July and say, hey, this is when Christmas in July is going to be happening. I want you guys here. And then basically Christmas in July, we have Christmas in July down there. So that is a tradition that I know that on my daughter's father's side of her family that they do. So I, being a co-parenting with her father, I wouldn't maliciously schedule something for our daughter to do because I know that it is a tradition for what they do. Does that make sense? So that's basically when you plan for holidays. And if you keep it consistent, that also too helps the child. Whenever the child goes on vacation, like even if it's not just like the holiday vacation, but if you decide to take the child on vacation and you guys are staying in the hotel, yes, by all means, give that other parent the hotel information. It's not to spy on you to find out, oh, why you at this and that. No, it's not that. It's A, for the safety of our child. And B, just for safety reasons alone. Like, look what they're doing down in Mexico, snatching people up. I mean, kids get kidnapped as well as adults get kidnapped. You know what I mean? So hey, BD, I'm just letting you know, me and the kids is going to Maryland. We're going to go to visit the African American Museum. We're going to be staying at the Holiday Inn. This is the address, this is the phone number, and this is the room number. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Because he might try to contact me and something might happen with my phone. So how am I supposed to contact him in the event something does happen with our child? Okay, so that's definitely key. Also, rotating holidays so that the child can experience different holidays with both sides of the family, because you're not joined together anymore, because you're co-parenting. You're not together. You're no longer a significant other. You are an ex. So in returns of you being an ex, you have to share the child co-parenting. So maybe these holidays, y'all come together maybe at the beginning of the year and say, hey, these are the holidays of where I want our child. These are the holidays that you want as a child with our child. Therefore, you guys can come up with a structured plan. That way the child is not deprived. The child is not deprived of any family activities or any family traditions of which the family does participate or partake in. Okay? And 7, now this is where a lot of people, and I say us in general because I do mean BDs and BMs, we have to compromise. Okay? Because at the end of the day, there's going to be some things that you don't like. At the end of the day, there's going to be some things that I don't like. But how can we compromise with the mind state of having what is best for our child? Okay? Now, in the event that if y'all can't do any of this for a successful co-parenting to happen, get a mediator. That's it. Get a mediator. We're going to get a mediator. I'm going to sit down with the mediator. You going to sit down. We going to sit down with this mediator. And we're going to go through this together to make it make sense for the both of us, if that makes sense. Okay? All right. Now, those are just the increases chance of a successful co-parenting. Hey, D, how you doing, boop? I see you up in the corner, girl. All right. And now, with co-parenting, I also have 6 things that co-parenting should not do that could negatively affect the child and how they could cooperate with the other person's family. That makes sense. Okay? Don't talk negatively about the parent in front of the child or to the child. Because I'm not going to lie. I had to learn this with, I love you too, girl. I had to learn this with my first baby's dad. And I actually want to bring some issues, personal issues of mine that I had to heal from. And I had to acknowledge the fact where I was wrong at. Okay? With BD number 1, if y'all know, y'all know. I used to talk bad about BD number 1 because I couldn't co-parent effectively because I let the past situation affect the relationship. So when BD number one got his girl, got married, I was, even when he got his girl, when we just broke up in general, I was so mad and so angry and so bitter. I was talking shit. And I wasn't acknowledging that through my hurt and my pain, of which I should have channeled somewhere else that would have been more effective for me. Like just channeling in general in my kids. I was walking around the house saying some hurtful things to where as though my daughter picked them up. And I was saying hurtful things about him. And I was saying hurtful things about his significant other at the time, to where as though it damaged, and I want to repeat, it damaged a lot of, it damaged a lot of people, and it damaged a relationship that it's his wife now. So his wife and my daughter could build a relationship. Because I was stuck in, that's my daughter, I'm the only mom. I was stuck in that ignorant mind state when I shouldn't have been stuck in that mind state. But hey, you live and you learn. You know what I mean? This is my first daughter, my first son, and ain't nobody gonna come in and try to play mom. But in all actuality, if I would have just cooperated, it could have been better for everybody. You know what I mean? Because it does say it take a village to raise a child. Let's talk about it, okay? So don't talk negatively about the other parent, to where as though the children hear it, to where as though it could just damage the relationship in general. Don't ask, okay, tip number 2. Don't ask the child to take sides, okay? Don't ask the child to take sides, because you know how people say, tell me the truth. I can handle the truth. Stop it. No, you can't. You can't handle the truth. If your child comes up to you and chooses and says, hey, I want to go live with my dad, or hey, I want to go live with my mom, and you're the opposite gender, your mom or dad, your feelings are going to be hurt. So that truth does hurt. So be careful what you ask for. But there's no need to have the child in there to take sides when the adults should be acting as adults and co-parenting for what's best for the child. So don't be trying to turn my child negative against me, and I won't try to turn our child negative against you. Does that make sense? All right. So number 3, don't keep your child away from the other parent out of anger or out of spite, unless it is for a legitimate reason to hold the child because of safety reasons. Okay. Hey, Sinead, how you doing, babe? Okay, so what I'm saying is basically, don't keep your child away from a parent out of anger or out of spite. There has to be a legitimate reason that would affect the child's safety. So I'm just not going to, you can't come get your daughter because we had an argument on Thursday. It's Saturday. No, you can't come get your daughter. Or, no, you can't come get our daughter because you was out there on a date the other day. Like, that doesn't, stop using the child as a pawn. The child's not a pawn. The child is a person. The child has emotions, and it needs to be acknowledged. So don't sit here and keep a child away, because at the end of the day, we are living in the end of times, end of days, and we need, if you're a father, step up and be a father. If you're a mother, step up and be a mother. At the end of the day, I don't care what's going on. At the end of the day, that's what needs to happen. Again, unless it's for legitimate safety reasons. Again, I want to point out legitimate safety reasons. Is if by me bringing my child over to your house, is my child in danger? That's basically what I'm saying. So I'm not going to hold my child from you because in spite of, but I'll hold our child from you in spite of, because there's dangerous things that you're dealing with within your household, or that you're dealing with, or maybe even the person that you're dealing with. You know what I mean? If my child is in danger for their safety, then yes, by all means, nah, you're not getting. You understand what I'm saying? Also, don't use the child to spy on the other parent. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, as you're packing a bag, getting, all right, you about to go over your dad's house, or you about to go over your mom's house, and I want you to tell me everything your mommy does, or I want you to tell me everything your daddy does. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Let that child have their own experience with their father or / their mother. That's saying what happens in my house stays in my house. I can understand that to an extent. Does that make sense? Again, the extent is safety, dangerous reasons. You know what I mean? So don't be trying to sit here and use our child as a pawn just to find out information of what's going on in my house because, hey, you don't know what's going on in my personal life. Don't do that. That's not fair to the child. It doesn't benefit anybody. That makes the child confused, and it makes them is confused. Who loves me more? Oh, I'm gonna have to do this for daddy because he won't love me no more. Or I have to do this for mommy because she won't love me no more. That's not fair to do. All right. Okay. Don't be inconsistent with mutual agreed upon parenting. So basically, that's basically what it says. Don't be inconsistent. All right. Now, for example, I'm gonna use a situation with me. With my BD number 2. With BD number 2, we alternate weekends. Okay, our daughter lives with me. However, he comes and get her every other weekend. Okay, that's a consistent schedule that he and I have. Okay, so if I start to notice a pattern like, hey, I can't come get her again. This is just an example. I can't get her this weekend. And I'm like, okay, you can't get her this weekend. Whoop-de-doo, whatever situation may be. Can you get her next weekend? No, I can't do that. All right, can you get her the weekend after? No, see what happened was. All right, so now we have a level of inconsistency here. Because it's consistent that you have our child every other weekend. Now you just told me 3 weekends in a row that you're not able to get our child. So now red flags are going up. What is going on? Then that's when you have to go back to effective and active communication, the level of trust, the level of respect. And if you haven't let go of the past, you're not going to get anywhere there. You understand what I'm saying? And then lastly, don't let promises fall through. So if you promised your child or the parent of your child or basically your child or the co-parent of your child, if you promise them, hey, I'm going to go ahead and pick you up this day and that child is patiently waiting for you Tuesday at 5 o'clock with their coat on and their bag in their hand. There's so many adults that haven't healed from childhood wounds because they remember, I was waiting for my dad all day in the living room and he ain't never come. He said he was coming on Tuesday and he ain't never come. Or I have mommy issues because my mom abandoned me because every time she told me she would pick me up at this date or time, she was never there. I'm sitting there with my coat and my bag on waiting for mommy. Because in return, what happens is, if you can't effectively do this, you are basically planting a seed for your child not to have a successful childhood. And that's basically just be a damn kid. You know what I mean? You're robbing that. Being a kid and just loving the other parent or loving parent. You know what I'm saying? You're robbing your own child from that. And this in return can create childhood issue wounds and scars that eventually will show up in the relationship. And don't nobody want that. Let's be real here. Don't nobody want that for their child. I know for sure I don't. Okay? Now, I'm telling y'all right now. Now, this list is a great list to have and to abide by. And am I going to be real? Yeah, okay. Now it's time to get real. Let me sip my water. Okay, because I don't follow that list. I don't. And the reason why, I ain't going to say I don't follow the list. What it is that I am, quote unquote, there we go, I'm inconsistent with the list, okay? I try to raise my kids and cooperate with the other parent, more so out of logic than emotions. Okay, especially with me. Again, trying to keep in what is best for our child at the top of my head. Okay, it's not so. If like I'm a prime example. I am currently healing from some very past issues with relationship with BD number 2. Okay. Now, in my certain situation with BD number 1, I acted a whole fool, of which I do regret now, looking back at the things that I've done, the things that I've said, and how I possibly rooted or put a seed in for my children concerning their stepmother, because they're married now. Their stepmother. So I have to be accountable for that. You know what I mean? So being as though that I acted a complete ass. When I say ass, I'm talking about busting windows, going to jail. What I'm telling you, I have basically learned my lesson from BD number 1. Hey, Aunt Vanessa. From BD number 1. We got Justin Penn in the building too. Hey. I had to learn my lesson from BD 1. From how I was acting like a complete asshole. Okay? However, I never kept him away from the kids. I'm not going to lie. I never did that. However, I'm not going to lie. I tried to manipulate some certain tactics to the point where the kids wouldn't want to go with him. And that's not fair to the children, because now what I was doing was robbing them from a relationship with their father. And I should have never done that. So if just so happened if, my BD number 1, if y'all know who he is, I don't want to get sued on no podcast here. So if BD number 1 knows, well, y'all know who BD number 1 is. If you know, you know. If you come across this, and also his wife, I genuinely apologize for acting the way that I acted, because once all 3 of us, well, I had 4 because I was with BD number 2 at the time. When all 4 of us sat down and have a conversation, and I decided to actively listen to what y'all were saying, it does make sense on where I fell short as being their mother, being Elijah and Talea's mother, for real. So shout out to y'all. Again, I genuinely apologize. This is my public apology to y'all for that. No shade. Again, because we already had our conversation. If things would have been different, if I would have acted different way, we all would have had different results, for real. Moving along. Yeah. So I had a situation today with BD number 2. It wasn't necessarily a situation today. It was a situation that basically that happened on Valentine's Day at our daughter's appointment. And you know what? I ain't even going to basically say what had happened. Let's just say we had a disagreement about something. Because my thing is this, okay? This is the prime example. I'm going to use it because this is my life story too, and I'm going to tell it, okay? If y'all know who BD number 2 is, then you know who BD number 2 is, okay? I'm trying to be respectful without saying names here, okay? So our daughter had an appointment on Valentine's Day at 2:00 concerning her eyes, okay? If you don't know the background story real quick, daughter was premature. Okay, so some things were underdeveloped. Okay, one thing that was underdeveloped was her eye. She has an underdeveloped optic nerve. Okay, so my baby girl can be looking dead at you, and then sometimes her left eye would just go wandering. Okay, in return to her eye just wandering, she really can't see too well out of her left eye as well as her right eye. Okay. So with that being said, with a normal person's annual visit, because with your eyes, you only go one time a year. Okay. But whenever you have an underdeveloped optic nerve or any type of eye issue, cataract, glaucoma, whatever, you are seen twice a year. Okay. Now, her appointment was on Valentine's Day at 2 p.m. Okay. I notified BD of this. We got notified. I notified him on February 11th. Okay. Now, mind you, yes, I am the mother. I communicated effectively, and I said, hey, I want you to know, just FYI, Nala has an eye appointment at 2 p.m. on Valentine's Day, and I gave him the location, everything. Now, what I had expected him to do was say, okay, I'll be there. Now, this appointment was just to determine, they're going to do an eye exam because she has to go twice a year. They are doing an eye exam. However, this was to determine whether or not if they could perform surgery on her muscle of her eye, not on the nerve itself, but the muscle, so that when she looks at you, the eye wouldn't be going crazy. At least her eye would be staying still. Okay? But by the grace of God and all the prayers, that she did not need to get surgery. So give it up for that. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Whew. So therefore, anyway, but this was the appointment of which it would be determined whether or not if she had to go under the surgery. Okay. And BD is concerned. And he said, oh, well, when we had this conversation before, he's like, oh, I want to be there for our eye appointments. You know what I mean? Because, his family, a lot of people in his family wear glasses. A lot of people in my family wear glasses. So our eyes are kind of like jacked up. But anyway, to make a long story short, the appointment was at 2:00. We had a whole plan on how we were to get there. So Valentine's Day rolled around and he didn't show. So while we're at the appointment, I text him like, are you coming to the appointment? Now, keep in mind, it's like around 2:30 at this time. I had to get her in there. I had to get her registered. Now we're in the waiting room. There's other people there. So I didn't get to him immediately. I'm getting to him as I can. Let me take care of our daughter first because we have a parent here that's handling business. Okay. So I text him like, hey, are you coming? I was like, hey, are you coming? And he texts me back, oh, I think you're texting the wrong person. I said, no, I'm texting Nala's dad. Nala had an appointment today at 2:00. Remember, I told you on February 11th. Now, me as being a parent, whenever I get a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment or any type of appointment for a child, I always immediately, right then and there, while I'm talking to the receptionist, I'm putting this right in Google Calendar. I'm putting this in Google Calendar. I'm going to do it the day before, and then on the note, I'm going to say Nala eye appointment February 14th, even though it might be February 13th, for example. I'm putting it in so that my phone alarm will go off the day before the appointment so I can put on my, hey, this is what needs to happen on this day. All right. Well, that's what I expected him to do. And you know what they say with expectations be expected to be let down. Okay. So during that whole time, he sends me like, I'm on the way. You're coming from the other side of town, coming downtown Pittsburgh at 2:30, 3:00 in the afternoon. By the time you get here, the appointment's over. Now, keep in mind, I said this in a very respectful way. Am I angry? Yes. Because it's to me, and because I know what I've been through with them, this isn't the first time that this happened, which is why I have a problem of not letting the past go. You understand what I'm saying? If the past keeps repeating itself, at some point it needs to be addressed. Okay, because if you keep allowing it to happen, it's going to keep happening. I said to him, hey, listen, I'm not mad. I kind of expected it. Listen, let me finish taking care of this. I will call you when I get out of the office. My phone kept blowing up. We kept exchanging text messages. I wasn't able to focus. And me as a parent, I was getting upset to the point where I had to block him until we had got out of the appointment. Okay, now come to find out, our daughter needed glasses. I had to go take care of her glasses, get the script, take it to the front. They were going to say, okay, we'll call you when her glasses are in. I gave them the number to call, etc., 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 and we left the building. Now, when I leave the building, I call baby's dad, and I tell him baby BD number 2, and I say, hey, like, what are you doing? You kept calling while I'm telling you I will call you when I get out of the office and let you know the rundown. The rundown is, Nala's not going to need surgery. She's going to need glasses. This is how much the glasses will cost. I paid for them already. And then whenever and they'll call me whenever they come in. Okay, cool. We had an argument because he said to me, you make it seem as if I don't care about my child. because my response to him was, what did I say? I said to him, it's okay, I expected it. It wasn't a low blow, but to him, it was a low blow. To him, I didn't respect him to remind him. I didn't respect him by saying, what I said. I wasn't being respectful to him. Okay. So the other day, and this leads me up to my main point. Okay. So the other day, I tried to sit down and have a conversation with him, and it was all fair because, like I said, if you allow something to keep going on for so long, it's going to keep allowing to happen. So I said, you know what? Enough is enough. Whenever you come to drop the kids off from school, because he does he picks the kids up from my mom's house to bring them home. I said, hey, whenever you get a moment, I would like to sit down and have a conversation with you in regards to some issues in our daughter. Okay? So we had an issue. He came over to the house, okay, and we were talking. All right. But before we get to that, I'm sorry, I went out of context. I apologize. So I had a situation, and again, I'm not perfect. We had a situation, I had one, to where so my son wrecked my car in October. I wasn't able to get a car, okay? At this time, one of my really good friends, he's a male friend, he was allowing me to use his car until I was able to get some type of transportation, okay? So I would use his car, drop the kids off in the morning to my mom's house. They would go to school. When the kids went to school, I would go ahead and go to work. My mom, at the time, had her car to take my children to school where they needed to do. My daughter's in kindergarten. She goes back and forth to school, okay? So, upon my mom, just recently, I want to say within the past month, my mom got into it wasn't a very bad car accident, but it was a car accident, and the car was totaled out. So therefore, that meant no transportation for our daughter to get to school. So me being a parent who's involved in her education, I had to call the school and let the school know and say, hey, Nala Jordan won't be coming to school because there's no transportation. We did not have a ride back and forth to school. Now, when my car originally got wrecked in October, BD number 2 did say, if you need anything, let me know. So when my mom's car got wrecked just a few weeks ago, I called BD and let BD know. My mom wrecked the car. Okay, so we have an issue of getting Nala back and forth to school. We have an issue getting Nala back and forth to school. Oh, they didn't say nothing. Oh, hey, what's up, bro? We have an issue taking Nala back and forth to school. I notified the school and let the school know, hey, Nala's going to be missing some school. Will this affect her spot in school? I even asked if my daughter can go virtual. They say virtual will take away from the class and it will distract the class. So unfortunately, virtual cannot be used in replace of this. So I was concerned about her spot. So I said, well, she's still going to be able to she's still going to be able to stay in her spot at school. Okay, they gave me the information. I then called up BD and said, hey, this is what's going on. Mommy wrecked her car. Nala doesn't have a ride back and forth to school. However, I did call the school, notified the school, and let them know that she will be missing some days of school due to no transportation. Pause. What I had expected BD to do was say, okay, Kelly, if you can at least get them over here, I can at least get Nala to school or pick her up. But it didn't happen like that. And this is where our co-parenting had got twisted. I explained to him by saying, I know the job that you do. Okay. You're a warehouse manager. Okay. You do have some free time on your hands. This is for a fact. I know for a fact because there's days where you came to my house to chill, to kick it when you're at work. So there's days that are available of where you can pick your daughter up and you can drop her off. Okay. The fact that that wasn't even an issue for him. Well, I can't do it. It's during my work hours. Nothing like that was said. So we did not have effective communication. Okay. So rewind it up to today, or to a few days. Okay. I had used somebody's car. Okay. I got in possession of a car. Our daughter's now back in school. Okay. I had to go pick her up from school one day. Just the other day. So I went to go pick her up. As I'm driving this way, he's driving that way. We look at each other and he calls me. He would say, "You really going to not see me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to go pick our daughter up from school." "Where are you going?" "I'm going to the busway." That instantly pissed me off. And he acted as if he didn't understand why I was mad. So I said a few choice words to him. I said, "You know what? I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend to you like this is not disrupting my spirit. My spirit is all irritated." "Well, why is your spirit irritated? What's up? Talk to me." Well, here's the truth of the matter is I told you that mommy didn't have a car for the longest. And I had to call the school and let the school know that our daughter was not going to be able to attend school due to transportation issues. Here you are. You're not even here. You get off work about an hour after I see you. You know what I mean? But I see you driving to this busway to do whatever the hell you're doing. I don't care what you're doing, who you're doing. I don't care. But I see that during this time, you could be picking your daughter up from school, because I'm actually on my way to go do that now. Thanks you, by the blessings of God, I was able to get a car to use to go ahead and do that. So my main concern is, so if you have time to drive to the busway, how come you ain't have time to pick up your daughter? I got called names. I got called I'm being disrespectful. I got called me. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is not how any of this works. We're supposed to be talking about our daughter. My main concern was, why didn't you go pick her up? Not once did you offer. I would be thinking that as a parent, you would be worried about our daughter's education. Am I wrong? It was told to me, "Oh, if you can find a ride to go out, if you can find a ride to go to a Super Bowl party, if you can find a ride to go out on dates," this is coming too. "If you can find a ride to do all that, how come you can't find a ride to pick your daughter up and back and forth to school?" Well, I'll be damned. I'll be damned. So I said, "You know what? I got it. You don't even got to worry about it. I got it." So from that conversation to today, we have been arguing, right? We have been arguing about co-parenting. Okay. So he comes in to the house, because remember, I asked him once he dropped the kids off, would he be able to come and have a conversation with him? So he comes in and I said, "Thank you for dropping Talea off. I appreciate that. But can you come in so we can have a conversation, please?" It's like, "Man, what's up? You know how y'all men be. Man, what's up? I ain't really got time for all this today." I said, "I don't want nothing like that. I just want to genuinely have a conversation, because I did not like how the conversation between you and what we had the other day. I didn't like how it went down. I didn't like how it made me feel inside. So I just want to get some clarity so you can understand where I'm coming from, being her mother." You know what I mean? So we're sitting down having a conversation. I was like, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we were having a conversation. I told him what I said. And then I said, "Like, you're failing. I feel like you're failing. And please let me explain to you why I feel like you're failing." Well, I guess that was the wrong thing to say, because the conversation got very combative. And I was like, where's all this coming from? We're having a conversation. I'm telling you, this is where I feel like you're failing at being a dad for real. Well, at least helping me out on being a father. I don't know what you got going on with your other kids, but specifically Nala right here, that's my main concern. I feel like you're failing, and you're failing because X, Y, Z. So he comes back and says, "Yeah, well, I feel like you're a bad mom." Now, those who've watched my podcast before understand how I feel about me being a bad mom. So instead of me acting in my emotions, I acted out of logic. I had to eat what he said to me. So the inside of my mouth was bleeding with blood, honey. I ain't gonna front. I was ready to snap. Like, what? But I didn't. I remained calm, because this is a trigger for me. Aha. Again, I learned from my previous baby's dad, I can't act that way, because nothing will get accomplished. And at the end, the only person that's going to get hurt is our daughter. I don't want to do that. So I was like, okay. I pulled down a seat. I took a deep breath and I said, Lord, please guide me to have this conversation with this man. Amen. I said that in my head. I didn't say it out loud. I said it in my head. And I said, yeah, well, what makes you feel like I'm a bad mother? Because at this point, I'm genuinely concerned because maybe he sees something that I don't see, that I think that I'm doing very well. I'm being honest. So I'm open for it. Let's get to the root of the reason so you can tell me why you feel like I'm a bad mother. It was, I've been telling you this for 12 years that you're a bad mother. Okay, well, we're talking about right now. And I'm asking you right now in this present moment, what makes me a bad mother? That's not my emotions involved. That's me being involved and engaged in a conversation on really trying to find out what the root is so that I can become a better mother. You feel what I'm saying? I could take heed to his advice. He will say, Kelly. I say, yeah. He said, you out here dating? Yeah, but that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Yeah. We've been broken up for like 3 years. Yeah, I'm out here dating. See, that's what I'm talking about. So by me dating, that makes me a bad mother? Try again. Every other weekends that you take her, you doggone right I'm going to be out on a date if that's what I choose to do. I'm a single woman. I'm not stopping you from doing what you're doing. That makes me a bad mother? No, what I'm saying is you leave our daughter home alone with your other daughter. Correct. I do. So that doesn't make me a bad mother. Or does that make me do what I need to do? He says to me, and I said to him, I said, so wait a minute, let me get this straight. I'm not allowed to leave our daughter at home with my 15-year-old daughter because you don't like it? Is that correct? That what makes me a bad mom? That's not what I'm saying. You twisting my words. I'm just trying to get clarity because that's what it sounded like to me. You know, I work 2 jobs. So if I go work my other job, nobody's here to watch Nala because when I call you up and say, hey, can you watch Nala? You're telling me you Grubhubbing. You're telling me you door dashing or whatever you doing. You busy. You're DoorDash. You're making money, as you say. So that's a no. I can't do that there. Then I don't have a vehicle to drop her off to my mom's. So me being a single mother with older children, I'm going to, teamwork makes a dream work. Yeah, you're going to have to watch your baby sister while mommy go get these 5 to 6 hours over at this get-go so that we can go back and get the sneakers that you want. See how it goes for exchanging energy, right? And I said, so it's a problem it's not a problem whenever I go work, but it's a problem now because you found out that I go out on dates. Okay, this is not how it's supposed to be. This is not how it's supposed to be. Then from that point, we're started to attack each other's character. So we're no longer talking about why am I a bad mother or why I felt like he's a bad father neglecting these things. You know what I mean? We're now talking about each other's character. Oh, you're a whore. You're a bitch. No, wait a minute. Where did all that come from? I'm confused. So then we level on. We get here today. Today he calls me and he says, Kelly, would you like anything from McDonald's? I had to look at the phone like, hello? Because I was so confused. We just had a really bad day the day before. So I said, yeah, you can just give me some hot cakes and a coffee. He's like, I got you one better. I got you a big breakfast. Oh, okay. So I'm assuming that this is his apology for how he acted, and maybe we can try to have this conversation over again. So I go to pick up the food today, and I say, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And he's like, hey, let me ask you a question. Is you cool? I say, yeah, I'm cool. Is you cool? He was like, yeah. And then as I'm walking out, he's like, you want to eat your breakfast here? It's like, okay, I got it. You want to spend some time and talk to me about Nala? I was like, you know what? Our conversation yesterday led to some words that, I didn't really appreciate it. So if you felt like I disrespected you, I'm not disrespecting you. I just want you to be open-minded. As me being the mother of your child, you specifically told me that you never wanted to see me struggle. So if you never want to see me struggle, and I'm trying to tell you some of the issues that I'm having or where you're lacking at on my end or where I have to pick up at, I'm telling you this, but because it's me, and because you don't like me, because you're unhealed, and because of this, you take it and you attack me and you're defensive. I'm not defensive. Talking to you is like I told you for years. Talking to you is like talking to a brick wall. Nothing gets resolved. You don't acknowledge my feelings and stuff and things of that nature. I said, stop. That's not fair. We can't do this. A, you're not respecting me by telling me I've been telling you this for 12 years. You can't talk to me. I'm not the same person I was 12 years ago. Okay, so you're not even expecting, you're not even acknowledging the growth that I had done for us to even have a conversation. For one, that made me upset. I said, for two, I'm trying to communicate with you, but I feel like the reason why you don't want to acknowledge my growth is because you don't want to treat me in a different way, because the way you're treating me now, you feel most comfortable with. That's not true. That's not true. Well, if that's not true, then why are you using old words such as, I've been telling you this for 12 years. Talking to you is like talking to a brick wall. But had you noticed, it's not, because when you said to me that I was a bad mother, I didn't operate out of emotions. I operated out of logic by asking, what makes me a bad mother? What am I doing differently? What can I do? You know what I mean? So there was no resolution in that. Okay. There was no solution in that for us to keep, having a conversation. So I explained to him on where I felt like he was falling short. He's like, what do you want me to do? I get our daughter every other week and you make it seem like I don't care. Said, I'm not making it seem like you don't care. I'm bringing out constructive things that I see that you as a father can work better on. For example, if I tell you our daughter has an appointment, come to the appointment. This is where you wanted to do. You wanted to be involved. So I'm trying to involve you. But it's not my job to keep reminding you of your daughter's appointments or of what you need to do for your daughter. That's not fair. Like if I tell you I have other things going, Kelly, I have stuff going on. I got stuff going on too. Trust me when I tell you. But I'm trying to make sure that I'm accommodating, as I was to say. Make sure I'm trying to accommodate you and your comfortability of us being co-parenting. Okay, so we're now at this point, and I'm not afraid to say it. If there is any mediators, because it's an unhealing situation. It's an unhealed situation. Jose said teaching is repetitious until learning takes place, but there must be a willing mind to learn or immaturity will prevail. That is correct, Jose. I like what you said that. I like what you said. I like how you said that. And thank you for bringing that in there. I need to know if there's anybody out here that could, or that has a mediator, preferably an African American one. I'm not going to lie. And again, to my Caucasian friends who watch this, there's nothing against y'all. It's just that we handle things way differently here. Okay. I'm upset. And the reason why I'm upset is because I can't reach to this man without logic. Like today when we had this conversation after we had it turned into nothing but disrespect. When I say disrespect, words like I wish you would die came out, and nobody wants to be in that type of energy. I know that I don't. You know what I mean? I had to come home for real. When I came home, it was a whole nother situation because I found out more information that happened in our relationship when we were quote unquote together. I had to stop what I was doing. I had to really get on my knees, and I really had to pray about this because of the anxiety that I was feeling, because of the tension that I was feeling. And I'm like, we living in the end of days, and I gotta argue with my BD number 2 about our daughter when it shouldn't even be an argument. I've been trying to compromise with this man, and I mean compromise is I don't have this man on child support for reasons. I do not have this man on child support. Okay, everybody tells me, oh, put this man on child support. You want to act like this? Nah, I'm trying to mediate this situation better without putting the white man in our business that will separate us and that will dictate, hey, you need to have it like this way, or no, we don't need all that. We need to work together. We need to learn how to work together. Unfortunately, you might not like me, I might not like you, but at the end of the day, we both love our daughter. So we have to work together and find a common mutual ground. I'm going to keep it a bean. I don't like his main cousin. I'm going to keep it a bean. There's certain people on his side of the family that I do not like. I do not want my daughter around. I'm not going to lie. However, unfortunately, They're his family. Nala knows him as uncle. Nala knows her as sister. I can't and I should not rob that from her because that's their family, right? So I have to chalk that up. So I'm not going to hold our daughter and say, no, our daughter can't do this because you're with such and such. That's not fair. I'm not operating like that. I want the best for our daughter. Oh, and he hit me with the line like, oh, you never want to see me win. No, I do want to see you win. I do, because I know if you win, our daughter wins at the end of the day. You know, and it's not just all about financial gains at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I have Nala. If there's 30 days in a month, I have Nala for 24 of them because he gets her every other weekend. Friday to Sunday. Friday after school, and then drop her off Sunday at 6. I have her all again until the next time for him to have her. However, does he see her daily? Yeah, he sees her daily when he picks her up from my mom's house to bring her to the house. Okay, he does. So I'm not taking that away from him. I turned Nala into a daddy's girl because I was a daddy's girl. You understand what I'm saying? So I would never take our daughter away from him in any shape, form, or fashion. However, the level of disrespect that notice how I said that we have for each other has to change, because we have to let the past go so that we can properly raise our daughter. Being though that I just because I go on dates, that makes me a bad mom? Just because I allow my 15-year-old daughter to watch our 4-year-old daughter while I go grocery shopping real fast or while I'm working 5 hours, that does not mean that I'm a bad mom. That means I made an adult choice to leave our daughter home with her older sister who can cook, who can clean, and who can activate a phone if something goes wrong, so that I can hurry up and get this done, so I can hurry up and come home to wash our daughter's ass, to either do her hair or play doll babies with her. Just at this time, her being with me at this time could slow me up from doing what I need to do. Because if you take Nala shopping, it's game over. I'm being honest, it's game over. I don't want no malice. I say this because I needed to have a podcast with this today, because I know for sure I'm not the only BM, because he would call me a BM as I would call him a BD. A BM. I'm not only the BM that deals with these issues. I mean, you got family members verbally attacking me, and my family members verbally attacking him. This is a toxic co-parenting situation, and what I'm trying to do is relieve the toxicity out of the situation so it can just be a co-parenting situation for the best interest of our child, because at the end of the day, the only person that suffers is our daughter. So whenever he tells me things such as you're not a good mom, or you're this, you're that, and I ask him why, he can never provide to me a reason why I'm not this. And because we've been separated for so long and so much growth has happened, he doesn't know the person of who I am today. So you can hold me accountable, as you would say, for actions that happened 12, 13 years ago when we were together, but people change. I know for a fact that I've changed. So by you sitting here saying to me that, oh, if I voice my opinion, it don't matter because you ain't gonna listen to it anyway. First of all, that's a preconceived conception. You're gaslighting me. You're avoiding the situation, and you're about to manipulate the situation. How about voicing your concerns and voicing this so that I can say, okay, here. For example, there's one concern that he did express to me about eating pork. Okay, we don't eat pork, but Nala likes pork. And the reason why Nala likes pork is because he was working, I was working, so my mom was watching her. I told my mom, don't feed Nala pork. I told my mom's husband, don't feed Nala pork. They eat pork. They had salami. They were hungry. There was no more other meat in the house but pork meat. Our baby girl needed to eat. She was tired of cereal and bread and that other stuff. She wanted some meat. So when she ate the salami, she fell in love with it. And now baby girl eats some pork sometime. Then it was bacon. So he came to me and he said, Kelly, I expressed my concern about the pork situation, but yet you're still having her eat pork. And I said, Jacona, I'm sorry. Oh, shit, I said his name. Fuck. BD number 2, I apologize. There's nothing that I can do about that, but just keep reiterating to my mom, hey, don't feed our daughter pork when we're at work, because she needs to eat. So then I started to bring Lunchables over there. I started to bring other stuff other than pork over there. But because she already tasted it, she already likes it, so that's what she asked for. Pepperoni. So we substituted for turkey pepperoni. So she ended up eating turkey pepperoni. But do y'all see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to clear the air, okay? And know if there's any people out there that knows about any mediation that can stop this level of toxicity that's happening, because this is a generation curse that needs to be broken. And I'm sure I'm probably not the only one. If you have an ex that you're no longer with and you're trying to co-parent with, and you lived in 2 separate households when you were a child, that is a co-parenting, that's a generation curse that needs to be broken. Because again, at the end of the day, the only person that suffers from this is the children. And if the children are our future and we're damaging them now, then what hope do we have in our future for this? I mean, this is crazy. We're about to go to war with Russia and shit. Okay? Like yeah. Okay, Jose, please. I can add you if you want to do your input. Call in, I'll hit the button. I mean, but for real, y'all, the US of A, us, is about to go to war with Russia. We got China in the background. And if you read the book of Revelations, they say the 2 largest countries, when they come to war, that's when the world's going to end. Well, if you look at your doggone globe, don't let me go get my globe over here. China and Russia is the 2 largest countries. And if they go to war, that's... we're gone. If I gotta go, I just want to go in peace and make sure my baby's okay. If that makes sense. I don't want no beef with my baby's dad or BD number 2. Okay, I'll let you get decent. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't want no beef with my BD number 2. Hell, I had to squash and have a civil conversation with BD number 1, his wife, me, and BD number 2, because at the time, me and BD number 2, we were together at the time, and we actually had to have a sit down civil conversation, of which I had to remove my emotions from the situation so that we can be logical about the greater purpose here, which is our children. So again, the question remains, if we are damaging our children now because we can't effectively co-parent, then where is the hope in the future? That's what I'm saying. I don't want my daughter going around saying, yeah, my mom and dad didn't like each other, so I had to go here one week, there one. I don't want that. Even though our relationship didn't work out, doesn't mean our co-parenting doesn't work out. Okay? At the end of the day, for me, on my higher journey, on my purpose and my spiritual living, I had to practice forgiveness, which was one of the biggest things that I've ever had to do, was practice forgiveness from my first BD. I'm going to keep it real, because I was so bitter and I was so hurt. I had to try to practice forgiveness. Now we coming on BD number 2, and I'm like, okay, I know I have to forgive in order for me to walk into that kingdom, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because if God can forgive, and he forgives me every day, like just like today, I'm not going to lie to y'all, I acted like a straight ass, and I'm so mad that I even let my emotions show, because he was coming for my character, when it's just words. It's not like he put his hands on me today. Right, Shay, Gaia, Goddess, co-creator says communicate with the kids. You're right. You got to communicate with the kids. You definitely have to communicate with the kids and make sure it's clear that they understand it. You know what I mean? You don't ever want to bash your dad. Every time Nala comes to me and she says, Mommy, I want to talk to Daddy, or Mommy, I miss Daddy, because those who are on the phone with me, y'all hear her in the background, Mommy, I miss Daddy. I say, call your dad. That's why I gave you call your dad. I'm not that type of mom that would keep her child or her children away from. Hold on, I think you calling me. Is you calling me? Hey, K Marie. Okay, I see it now. K Marie says you can with a mature person, but so many BDs and BM are so bitter, childish, and immature that you can't co-parent at all. You are so correct. I think somebody's trying to call in. Let me see. Okay, all right, Jose. I'm adding you right now to the live. Hold on, it's coming through, boo. Shut up, Brittany. I did. Hold up. All right, now, yes, I did read her name like it wasn't you, Shay, boo. Hold on. Hey, look at you. Hey, boo.
What's going on?
Hey, same stuff, different toilet, just a different day. How you doing?
I'm better than amazing. How about yourself?
Ah, like I said, you like my income tax wig. It's like, no, y'all, this is not an income tax wig. I promise I pulled this from the back. I had to boil it the other day and put some flat irons to it. And I like the way it flow. So what's going on, Jose? We got Jose in the building. He's a good friend of mine. We worked together for like a lot of lifetimes, didn't we? Right. So you said you had some thoughts and opinions about co-parenting and the learning. So go ahead. Drop your input.
I was thinking I would put my AirPods in. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you. Facebook, can y'all hear him? Drop a 1 in the comments if y'all can hear him, and 2 for no. And if you number 2, y'all need to turn y'all phone up because I can hear him clear.
I'm like, you always had those supersonic ears. I'm just saying.
You better stop playing with me.
So, like, I'm listening to what you were saying. Like, it brought back to memory so many different situations that I've witnessed and that I've kind of been a part of. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not as one of the parties, but I somehow got dragged into it. But but from everything you said, I agree with you completely. Because you have grown.
Thank you for the acknowledgement. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You've known each other for what?
20
something years. Like,
yeah.
We met 2001. So yeah, we know each other for 22 years.
22 years. Yep, 22 years.
So
that's what I said. Damn. You look good, boo. Hey.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's why. But and you do too.
Thank you. You know what they say, good black don't crack unless you do it.
That's from the South. But I'm like, I've seen the different phases of your life,
Yes.
And I could definitely attest to your growth.
Thank you.
Even how you handled the situation the second time around compared to the first time around, major difference.
Yeah, and in case y'all didn't know, the first time around it was bad. I mean, I was hopping, like, we were in place of employment, McDonald's per se. I mean, I was hopping counters. I was literally putting paws on people. I mean, I done been to jail and this is growth. So I don't want to be like that, And thank you for recognizing that. I greatly appreciate it. And when you say, and let me ask you this, Jose, when you say that you agree with everything I said, not just the growth part, but about the co-parenting part, because you said that you were, you were subjected to. I guess you were dragged in, you said, and you can see how it can be toxic. And have you seen healthy ones?
So, so I'm not the type of person to put anybody's business out there, but I have my friend. She's going through a similar situation, and I don't know who else you might have on there, so I got to be very vague with what I
be mindful, correct?
So I've kind of been dealing with a similar situation with her because of the father of her child.
Okay.
So, and I mean, this man has brought the worst out of her.
Right, and you know exactly. Because co-parenting with toxic, unhealed people can do that. Because there's certain triggers that people will have. But depending on what phases you are in your life, triggers can be there to either help you heal, to identify what you need to heal from, or it can bring you down. Depending on how you basically, I don't want to say choose to act, but depending on where you are in your journey, for real, to be honest with you. And the fact that I don't want to keep bringing people into our situation because too many hands in the pot can mess up the recipe. You understand what I'm saying? But at what point is there saying, okay, enough is enough. I can't take this anymore. I felt like I've been fair enough because number one, because I have predominant custody, you were to say. She's with me all the time. You know what I mean? And and I don't want to call you a part-time dad because that's disrespectful, but you have her 6 days out of the month. I'm not trying to flex my dominance on you. Hey, this is my daughter. No, this is our daughter. And when I say for you, I need you to step up, being in a respectful tone. Oh, hi, Tyler. When I see you in a respectful tone, I want to be respectful to the situation. I want to be like, and not even just financial situation, but being as though that I don't have you on child support for real, it should be that simple. Hey, our daughter needs a new pair of shoes. You think you'll be able to get them for her, or you can cash at me? By the time I hang up the phone, depending on your pay cycle, I expect that $60. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't want to. I have been in a relationship to where as though the man that I was dealing with, he was on child support. So when he was on child support for multiple kids, that affected of how the relationship went. It's not just about the money. However, the money is a prominent thing to have in a relationship or just in general because the world right now is a materialistic world. We need certain things to survive. And in order to get those certain things to survive, it's exchange of energy. I'm giving you $20 to give me $20 in gas. So if I don't have you on the child support and I say, yo, our daughter needs shoes, I can't get them. And being as though that my BD number 2 knows how much of a hustler I am, I come to him last before anything. I make sure to see if I can do it first. And then I'll go to him. So being as though in your situation that you were dragged into, and I say that loosely because, no disrespect. Does this person, shut up. Does this person have their BD on child support that you know of?
Yes.
Okay.
As of right now, yes. Because the child is actually of a substantial age. This child is in sports. This child grows like none other. This child eats
they do
more than I do.
They do, and they do.
I've never really been a big eater.
And
since my diagnosis with what they diagnosed me with, a large part of that was my year and a half I've been on and off of prednisone plus my infusion. So, I'm a lot bigger than I used to be.
Right.
But this child eats me under the table.
Right. And
Sunday. So, so, but they have an arrangement. They do have a financial arrangement. Because he has so many days out of the month that he gets with the child. So, we have to do the whole meet up and drop off, or meet halfway and drop off, or whatever, because at a certain point after at a certain point, because I can't really say some of the things I really want to say.
Okay.
Which actually shed a lot of light to things. We went from a 20-minute commute, 30-minute commute, to a 2.5-hour commute, halfway. Yes. Right.
Somebody better call Megabus, Greyhound, get them back in business. Do you know how many gallons of gas? 2 hours. Wait, what Medea do? She started calculating. That's a toll there. Hold on, we gotta pass Breezewood. Oh, that's another $50 toll. No, I'm just playing. No, but I can understand. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
But yeah, I mean, like, because of jealousy and because of outside influences that particularly didn't have anything to do with the situation per se, firsthand. With secondhand, because the child's father popped up married one day, and that's not an understatement. That's literally heard. Oh, he get married tomorrow. Like, yeah, oh yeah.
I've been there before. Real rap, I've been there before. I said married, my wig went this way. No, never mind. Let me stop. Let me fix my.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it really, it was really just like a situation that just when things seem to get better, they got worse.
Right, when it was supposed to get better. Now, let me ask you this, and then maybe you can disclose some information by not disclosing the people, but just a little bit of an insight, if you can or not. When the child was with the mother, was the mother basically like bashing BD in front of the child?
Never.
Okay, good. And I'm only saying that, and I'm only saying that because, and I'm asking about the woman in a situation, because from the way you're speaking, it sounds as if you're one of the woman's friends and not the man's friend. Is that correct?
You can say that, yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was asking, because I was going to say, have you ever heard the father talk bad about the mother in front of the child? Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Yeah, let's say I was right there when certain FaceTime calls were made.
Okay. Now, what you keep that keeping in mind, let me ask you this. From those certain FaceTime calls that were made in regards to either mother or father, did you see it, how it affected the child over time towards either parent?
At that time, the child was really young.
Oh, okay.
And the child was not with us at the time of the call.
Okay.
Most of the calls went like that. The child was not with us. So there were. I will say both parties have grown.
Okay.
Both parties have grown. But when you're reluctant to identify and work on certain things within yourself because you refuse to admit to yourself.
Self-accountability.
It's something that I need to work on. It's something I need to change. Maybe I should stop using this tactic. Maybe I should stop using, going about things this certain way. Whenever you fail to or refuse to, whichever the case may be for whichever person's, if it applies, you know what I'm saying? But when that person fails to or refuses to really sit with themselves and be honest with themselves about themselves, or refuses to take the steps to become better, then at that point you're just going around the same mountain. Right.
It's the same toxic circle.
Time and again, exactly. Nothing's going to change. You can't expect different if you're not willing to do something different than what you have done before.
Correct. That's just like basically saying you can't do the same thing and expect different results, because that's the definition of insanity. Old keys can't open up new doors. Bitch, that's when I pull one of these bobby pins out the wig, like, fuck this, I'm gonna get in this door. No. I can see where you're coming from. Now, you being an innocent bystander in all of this, can you necessarily say that you have became a mediator between the BM and the BD? No.
There were some situations where I have kind of been put in that position before, but in that particular situation, no.
Okay.
This particular situation, because I know both of them. But this situation, I basically just continue to deal with her because she's not important to the certain day, but
right.
But I deal with her, and I listen to her vent, because one of the things that I understand as a man is when a woman talks to you, it's not always about action. It's not always about something needs to be done. Maybe I just need to vent today. Maybe I just need to tell you my story. Maybe I just need to, I don't need you to get up and rah, and we won't do this, and let's go. No, sometimes it's just, let me just tell my piece and just get this off my chest, off my mind, and I'm in a different state of before.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. And a lot of dudes miss that, especially in their relationships, but that's a different topic for a different day.
That's going to come up too. We're going to have one of those topics too. The next one up might be balancing energies, or balancing your masculine and your feminine at the same time, because I'm going to take him to church on that one.
Well, but I realized, I first identified that, and then I just continue to, we just talk through it. Okay, so that was the situation. So have you tried this? Have you tried that? Just continue to just get to, I don't want to say exasperate, but we get to because there have been times when it was a misunderstanding. There have been times when it was someone who just didn't understand or break down the communication, basically.
That's, and as stated as before, and if you want to have a successful co-parenting relationship, communication, active listening, and comprehension is key. I lied to you not, Jose. I love Judge Lynn Toller. Okay, she's my favorite. Everything she's on, I watch. I'm taking notes. Okay. And one thing when I was watching in couples therapy, and just as with any relationship in general, you need to learn how to actively communicate and actively listen. So if you said something to me, I'm going to listen to what you say. I'm not going to interrupt you. When you get done, I'm going to say, okay, so let me get this straight, Jose. What I heard you say was A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Is that correct? Is that what you were saying to me? To get some type of clear, effective understanding. Because what you said to me is how it came out from you, so you understood it a specific way. But I may not comprehend the same way that you may say. You know what I mean? When people hear what they want to hear, they pick and choose what they want to hear. You might have told me you went to breakfast and at 8 o'clock. I heard you went to breakfast at 8 o'clock and you had steak and eggs. Where did the steak and eggs come from? Right. You feel what I'm saying? Different comprehend. You know what I mean? So whenever I don't understand, or whenever someone's speaking to me, especially about my children, I'm going to be very clear, very quiet. And I'm going to listen to what you say. Then when you get done, I'm going to ask questions. But sometimes when you ask those questions, certain people take it as being that you're attacking them, or that you're disrespecting them because you're even asking questions, or they feel like you are in no position to ask me questions, type shit. And we're not even on that. You know what I mean? So I guess it's just a level of basically where you are in your personal life, for real, of your level of comprehension, active communication, effective thinking, things of that nature, to help also to improve healthy co-parenting. You having a moment there? Were you praying for me? Thank you. I accept all prayers.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Okay.
Because we all understand based upon our experiences.
Absolutely. That's a perfect way to say that. Thank you.
Also, there comes a time when you have to be able to understand beyond your experiences, beyond what you know. You have to be able to expand your horizons. You have to be able to expand your borders. You're responsible for making yourself a well-rounded individual after a certain age.
Absolutely.
At some point, it's not just I misunderstood. No, I lack the maturity to understand, to want to understand. I lack the maturity to do what I need to do to get to that place to where I can comprehend what you're saying, both verbal and non-verbally.
Right.
I lack the maturity to not see you as a threat because of my own insecurities, or because of my own preconceived notions.
Right. And that's where a lot of people get it mixed up at. You know what I mean? Because I was the person of whom you were speaking of just now, I was there years ago. And like you said, people comprehend off of their own experience, right? Or just their level of experience, right? So being as though that everybody and their mama knew about BD number one situation, how it all went down, and how much I acted like, and Kelly did what? That bitch is crazy. You motherfucker. Right, I was. Okay, but however, after time, after experiences, after growth, after the accepting the accountability, because some people lack that. And after going on a journey, I had to realize, wait a minute, I'm wrong. And in part of me doing that, I had to actually come and face my wrongs for real. I had to right my wrongs for real. Do you know how much courage and how much blood was in my mouth? The fact that I know that I made that mistake, that I had to go back to this very own person of whom I quote unquote despised or hated, and realized and had to put the bigger panties on and say, all right, I was wrong. But I had to, because at the end of the day, had I been a better communicator, had I been open-minded, had I respected her feelings and his feelings and my daughter's feelings, then a better relationship between her and my daughter would have been better. And I was in charge of that. And being as though that I was so, there we go, thank you, Lord. I was so childish and so bitter and so angry and so hurt that I didn't care. And in return, by me not caring, drifted their relationship apart. She can't take my daughter this weekend. I got her. Why? You know what I mean? So I had to learn that that's not. And unfortunately, and like I said, and I apologize with I had to apologize. I even had to apologize to my daughter for that, for real. And that one took the cake, because as I'm apologizing to her, I had to like there's tears in my eyes. Like, I feel bad. I didn't mean to rob you. I didn't know my actions and the words that I was saying was going to basically rob you from a relationship with your stepmother now. Like, they're locked in for life. You know what I mean? That is your stepmother, you know? So now when she says, all right, Mom, I'm going over Dad's house. Okay, have fun. You come back. I ask her questions. Did you enjoy yourself? Did you and Christina kick it? Because now I'm regretful for not including Christina. Oh, shit. So what, man? Y'all know who my BD number one wife is. My bad. I didn't mean to say your name. Please do not bring the police. I don't want no drama. Don't sue me. I don't own no rights. Okay, I apologize. I didn't mean to put your name out there. I'm sorry. Now I feel bad for real, because I had to, like, you know, so now I wish they would have built that bond, because I was also I had a stepmother too. You know what I mean? And like you said, people understand off their own experiences. Okay. So my experience with my stepmother was good when my dad was present, but was bad when he wasn't present. So me having that experience, I held that experience, and I held that over to how BD number one's wife was, you know? So it's like, oh, you're not going to be doing my, and I felt like in my crazy mind that I was protecting my child.
Right.
And it didn't even have to be it that way. It was, I should have just let everything play out and intervened when when my child's safety was being threatened. Or if I felt, you know what I mean? And I did not. I was straight all day, TCG all day, and I should not have been. So once we apologized, and me, BD number one, and his wife had a conversation, she had to apologize to me too, and she knew what she did, talking and saying things out of pocket that she didn't even know what was going on, just in spite of, you know, playing on my phone type stuff, you know what I mean, just to get me, you know, giving what you wanted. But now had we would have worked together, we would have been, I'm not saying no BFFs, but we would have, I mean, I'm being real, but we would have been at least cordial enough to share my daughter with her relationship with her, and you know what I mean, my relationship with my daughter. You understand what I'm saying? But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way until like to the end. So now I pray that, you know, that they're able to. I should have used her as a backup in a respectful way. Hey, if you can't go to me, if you feel like Mom is going to attack you with anything that you're afraid of, go to your stepmom. Maybe she might understand based on her experiences. And I wasn't welcome to that at that time. But now I am. But I am. Well, I thank you so much for coming on and giving me a call, so we can do the duo screen here and introduce your thoughts and your opinions into the show. I greatly appreciate it. Please stay tuned for more. I'm going to go ahead and hang up the phone and keep the show going. Oh, don't text me now. Keep the show going. But I wanted to say thank you so much for your thoughts, and your opinion. But you have a great night, but continue watching the show. Okay, babe? All right, baby. So y'all, okay, we don't want to use, okay, remove Jose as a guest, remove. Okay, all right, so we're back on live again. If y'all heard, that was Jose Brown, my Facebook friend. By all means, please request him if you happen to have any questions on what he spoke about. Maybe he can clarify anything else for you that you may have in regards to the situation that he knows of, or that he was basically pulled into, but have a great understanding about. So with that being said, I want to say, thank you guys so much for tuning into, Kelly's my Soul Connection podcast number 4. I am your host, the only host, Kelly Kales. That's Kelly with 2 E's, last name T for Turner. That would be me. So before I go ahead and exit out for real, I want to let y'all know an update on the podcast show. I picked out a day of where I can consistently do this, which would be every Tuesday at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I do run on that CPT time. Oh, we have Quadgy. Hi, nephew. Quadgy in the building. Okay. Oh, we got Earl. We got Earl in the building. Earl came back for some more tea like he did from the other episode. Hey, baby. But I'm going to do this podcast every Tuesday, and I'm going to try to get started between 7 and 8. I'm learning how to work my equipment better. I'm learning behind the scene stuff, so that when I come to present it to y'all, it will look better than what it is. But I want to say thank you so much for your participation. Future topics that are coming up are going to be very interesting. I cannot wait for the podcast. This is one I've been waiting for. Why do relationships fail? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Now this one, I got some major big dogs coming through. Woo, 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 woo. I can't wait till they come through. I got so many questions to ask them, for them to share their experience on here, if they're more than willing to. If you want to participate in the show, y'all just let me know what's going on. If you're interested in participating in the show, if you want to put a commercial on in my show, if you want me to help market your brand, like if you do any type of wigs, hook me up with a wig, girl. Or if you do make any type of jewelry besides my Soul Connection bracelet jewelry, if anything that you want to try out on my show, if you want to give your push it out there, please contact me. Hey, cuz. We got Tracy in the building. Hey, cuz. Please, by all means, contact me. Let me know what's up. I got another podcast coming up. It's called Just Like Music, where we'll be talking about music from back then to now. I got a lot of great things. Oh, thank you. Thank you. She said, do your thing, Queen. I really love you. Oh, we got cousin Carla in the building too. Hi, Carla. But I want to do a lot of things. Also coming up in July, there is no set date as of yet. However, in July, I am having a retreat. And yes, it is going to be an Airbnb retreat. I'm currently working out the details as of right now. Well, not right now, because obviously I'm talking to y'all. But I am working on a retreat. Working out the details with specific individuals. What the retreat is going to entail, what's it going to be about, and trust and believe on this retreat, we will be having podcast galore. So your name, you will be on the mic. I will be interviewing you. We will have a conversation about some crazy topics. So I'm gonna need y'all to stay tuned. That's going to happen in July. I'll be letting you guys know more about that here in April once we have a solid plan together. So I need for everybody to tune in Tuesdays between 7 and 8. So that means the podcast can go from 7 to 8 or 8 to 9. Because y'all know I'll be running on that CPT time. I ain't going to lie. Listen, I told y'all I isn't perfect, but I'm trying to get there, So, if you guys want to discuss specific topics, inbox me and let me know. I got you covered. Like I tell all my people, I got your back like a chiropractor. And the message for today, and as always, remember, be yourself or you might find yourself what? By yourself. So thank you for tuning in to Soul Connections with your host, Kelly, with 2 E's, last name T for Turner. Holla. Finish. And we're going to hit cancel. Oh, am I still live on here? End live video.